Welcome to a platform where we debate on the top stories of the NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball, and other leagues with the best in the world of sports. You'll also get interviews with many athletes and media talents at several basketball events, including the WNBA and college basketball. My name is Rafiq Ulazon, and this is Nothing But That Sports Talk. Yeah, NBA Finals fever is in full effect. As I welcome to this episode of Nothing But That Sports Talk, Rafiq Ulazon alongside Ryan Walker. How you doing today, my guy?
Yeah, man, cooling, it's another day at work and working again. Work while working. That's how we do.
Yeah. I mean, I understand we talked about the finals last week. So before we get to the rest of that and pick up predictions for game one and the rest of the series, why don't we just get a little bit of some breaking news happened earlier today as Nike Pro City will be back at LIU Brooklyn for a second year in a row. They had it last year, and let's just say we couldn't even feel our face last year as just feel your face and to walk it out with the Nike Pro City Championship last season. It's after a phenomenal run filled with game winners and buzzer beaters. Right now, they look to defend their championship in this year's Nike Pro City as they come back to LIU Brooklyn, which is literally right around the corner from where Paramount Theater is. So, when you saw the breaking news, what are your overall thoughts and what are your expectations of Nike Pro City in 2024?
Well, actually, I didn't see the breaking news. You're breaking the news to me now, but it wasn't breaking news because I knew it was already going to be there. I ain't gonna talk about how I knew on the air how I got the inside scoop that I knew was going to be there anyway. But so you're breaking it to me, but that's good. Having back at there, it was good last year, and I'm pretty sure any things that they might have seen as mistakes or flaws or whatever didn't work well for a tournament that worked very well, they'll get better at this year with what they do. And shout out to Bernard. What's my young lady? She works at OSL. Bree, Bernard, of course, Aaron Barnes Journals. Those are my dogs down there. Bernard always showed us love for years. Bree always showed me love for years. Very, very good, humble people. And of course, the synergy that me and Aaron morphed maybe about time's flying, maybe 5-6 years back to the date, something like that, when Ballers Journal was starting up and getting a buzz, but starting up, and like I said, seen her at the Four Aces events, and then next time was the Four Aces. That wasn't that. Was Lord, what's the name of that other tournament that's very similar to the look? But it was
Zone 6.
No, not Zone 6. Oh Lord, it's gonna come to me. What the name of that tournament was in the Westchester County Center. But that's where I seen them originally, and then seen them back again with the Ballers Journal stuff at Hoops Showdown by Bronx River Gym. Then Dykeman came, and we just happened to see her the first day. And she had, it's so crazy. They were building and had a lot of networks. They shirts Nike, and they had a lot of lanes starting up already. But I think when me and her got tight, I kind of gave her like the street basketball cred, where now she got those other lanes, and then they just flowed and took it to a whole different level. And now she's astronomical with it. But she's always showed me love, and we always be good, and we know how that works with the lane for her. So Bernard, Bree, and Ballers Journal be back. DJ Authorized, he does a phenomenal job. Joe Pope as the announcer, they staff. So I'll be down there, and while you do your media work, we work on that. I'll make sure I have my good courtside seats, sit and watch the good levels of Pro City. It's good that it's back at LIU. They need to me, in my opinion, I know some people want Hostess back, and some people have talked about Columbia being back, and other people who can go back and really remember the Baruch days and other days been at. I think they need to give it a few years at LIU, give it an opportunity, and see where it can possibly go.
Yeah, and Aaron did tell me that it was going to be back at LIU Brooklyn. It's just a matter of seeing whether or not it's going to come in fruition, because people can say and make promises, but nothing's guaranteed based on everything goes when it comes to building basketball leagues. And you've been around basketball long enough to know that some things do not go in your favor. Just like, I mean, I had good experience covering Pro City last year at my alma mater, but there was some things that didn't go that well as far as interviews, which is why I'm going to mix it up a little bit as I will interview any media professional that walks by LIU Brooklyn. I'm going to do some post-game recaps of the entire event, interviewing any media standouts, whether you come as a spectator or coming as a media professional covering events. I'm just going to do that type of interview instead. And well, if I get player interviews, I will get player interviews. But as of right now, I'm only going to focus on the media professionals that cover it. I'm going to leave the players alone. Only for like certain events, or if there's any major games that happen, we'll keep it that way. But that's going to be the focus of Nothing But That Sports Talk as far as covering Nike Pro City this year. Here, when it comes to fruition. So I don't have unnecessary distractions and confusions.
Yeah, well, I think that we all learn from our mistakes, and we don't need to speak about the whole realms, but we don't need to speak about the specifics per se in general with it. But one thing that I always preach to you in all realms that we do, and I kind of shot that message at you last year, but sometimes it's not even that the message don't intercept in your head, and it's not that you're not a person that's very receptive, because you're a very rules listening type of guy. I respect that about you. But being at an event like that, it's overwhelming where you want to get these certain things. But the point I'm trying to bring is that what you do is
you just have to
you make sure that once you get, and we take care of that part to get you the media credentials in there, it's your responsibility on the first day to introduce yourself, talk, say what's up, and not even right away, and just say, hey, you know what, guys, what are the mountains that I can climb to with this? What am I allowed to do and not allowed to do? And let me know. And then whatever is allowed, I'll make sure we keep it in those realms and you keep it there. And then you can also introduce ideas to say, hey, if there are opportunities, there would be times I would like to do this and do that. And if it's in the realms of what you guys want, and as long as it has to be something too where you're getting credit and they're getting credit, because you still have to showcase what they're doing with Nike Pro City. You understand what I'm saying? And as long as in the realms and everybody's getting the message across on both sides of what they want for whoever you interview and so on and so forth, then it's not a discrepancy, but it has to be spoken about. You can't play God. And that's where sometimes where discrepancies can come in life. When there's certain realms, if I knew, if I would invited you to crunch time and I know I have more power as to do that there would never be an issue for something like that. Because it's like, hey, listen, as long as you talk tag crunch time, go ahead, knock yourself out, get the color comment, the commentary. But other realms, I can't, as great as I am in Dykeman, I can't go to Dykeman and promise you the same thing, because you might still have to speak to a Sharon Bonder or a Kenny Stevens or a Naya or somebody amongst their staff to figure out how it's going to collaborate together. So your goal responsibilities to figure out what you can or can't do from Jump Street and do exactly what they said for you to do. And you have to pay the cost to be the boss. You have to build up things over time in order to be able to walk around with any kind of liberties that you want. And then once you do that, then you go from there. And as long as they give you the onus to do certain things when it's time, you do it. If not, you stay in your realms and you go from there. Because I put it like this to you. I knew a lot of, and we don't have to speak about the whole realms of scenario. I knew a lot of people that were there that had bigger platforms than what we're doing or have so far, or media that doing and couldn't do what you did last year. You understand what I'm saying? So if they can't do it, then you can't do it neither. Unfortunately, that product there is for E to showcase all of that via Baller's Journal, because it's a connection with Nike, it's a connection with what they're doing with the tournament, yada 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 yada. So, but listen.
All I'm going to say is I can't wait for Nike Pro City. I can't wait to see what Aaron for the Baller's Journal does. That's all.
100%.
And continue with the street ball conversation. Yeah, I guys just stopped by West 4th Street earlier this week, and yeah, I witnessed a game go 4 overtimes, and of course, 4 overtimes down at West 4th inside the cage, courtesy of a putback layup off 2 missed free throws to end regulation. So yeah, that was literally intense. If you see the foot, I mean, obviously you saw the footage, you're gonna know what's going on. As long as you've been around West 4th, has there always been 4 overtimes?
Oh, I mean, it's happened. It's very rare. It's happened. I've seen double overtimes more. I think which we always talk about, the dimensions of the basketball court can make those type of opportunities happen so much more often, especially on the distance on how it is to score one bucket to the next. But shout out to Kenny Graham and those guys, West 4th, always keeping their tournament concurrent, starting early, always getting it good for the kids to play. Many teams throughout New York are definitely playing in that invitational, and they have a good thing going. My always discrepancy with them. It's nothing bad against the tournament. It's like, man, the court is just so small and so tiny, and sometimes it's hard to go inspect it. But no, they have a great tournament, great history. I know a lot of kids that are playing in it right now from the high school division, still, announcing for my guy, Coach Blue at No Sleep to Brooklyn. I was actually by accident. It's a whole longer story, but I didn't expect to do it. Was blessed this Sunday to pass to do the IS8 Spring High School Championship game. I actually announced
I saw the footage. Good stuff. Great job.
Yeah. Thank you. Hey, thank you. It was amazing. Never planned for it. Didn't even expect to it. Every time I go to IS8, I always go there to actually hear my man Haas, who owns his restaurant and store over there in Queens on 115, where we all get good soul food at Soul City, and Pete, who's been there from the inception of IS8, would then get on the mic and announce, and just sit back and still, enjoy IS8 and watch the games and chill. And my guy Ike was there. Shout out to my man DJ Africa Ike, who we do a lot of things together with Crunch Time. And he's like, oh, yeah. He's like, wait, you're not announcing? I said, no. I said, man, I come here to what I say to listen to Peter Haas and sit back and enjoy and have a good time. It's Championship Sunday. And he's like, nah, I'm going to get you an announcement. You announce the game. I said, nah, man, listen. I said, I come here to chill. I don't want to. So I watched the first game. Then we watched a little bit of the second game, went outside, got some food, got a little break, came back in, seen the final score of the second game. It was like a 35-minute delay from the second game to the third. The chip was at 2:30. So I even had my chair. Crash Brother was supposed to come a little later. So I even sat down and took a nap. The first game was good. All the games were good. First game was good. All you see my boys from Long Island highlights in the first game. The team underrated, shout out to them. Team underrated, Coach Ray, 25 years and counting. They almost made it to that chip. That's the farthest they made it at IS8. So God bless them. But they almost would have been in that chip. That'd have been cool if by accident I would have been able to announce that for them. But the second game, I'm sitting there taking a nap. Shay comes over to me because I always have lines with Shay. We talking, and Shay's like, "Ray, are you sleeping?" I said, wait, I'm tired. I'm getting my nap in now before the game come in. And like 4 or 5 minutes later, Ike's brother, I seen him before we was talking, comes to me. He's like, "Yo, wait, Ike said, come over. You coming to me right now?" He said, "You about to announce?" I said, "What?" So he convinced Haas. He's like, to let me announce. But me and Haas know each other. Like, we've talked. We've had rapports with many other stuff. I go to the restaurant all the time. And he knows what I do in my work. He knows what I do with other rounds. We talk about basketball and other things too, in general. So Haas gives the mic and Haas jokes, and I was like, "Yo, I don't like you after one quarter. I'll take the mic back." I said, "Listen, I'm happy if you take it back." I said, "I came here just to chill."
Quarter, you were there.
And I got on spontaneously, and luckily it's not so hard. I know so many of the kids and the players anyway, and did a game. I thought I did a decent job. It was good to be in front of everybody, in front of that showcase, and to be in history. I could say I announced the IS8 championship game for one of their leagues. I can go down in history for that. So it was really great honor. I made sure I shouted out and thanked them. So I did IS8, do No Sleep to Brooklyn, but West 4th, everything started. West 4th, Zone 6. Brooklyn is picking up right now. Gershon's about to start really soon. Lincoln Park Ladies started the other day. I think they're supposed to start up their high school division very soon. Dykeman is June 10th. Rutgers are right around the corner for starting. What did I miss? Watson is 2 weeks. Tri-State started.
Hoops and the Suns about to start on June 15th.
Right there, you so it's all about to start. Crunch time. We're gonna start June 23rd. The high school division. I mean, the college pro-am division is gonna start a little bit earlier. Bolton Mac, they're gonna start their tournaments. Everything's gonna start really soon for the entire city. I think the main event already started. So Pro City, you said the date is when is Pro City opening date?
July 8th.
Oh, okay. Well, see, Pro City is strategic and organized, and all the games inside, so you know it's gonna start and end on time. That's
Yes.
better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't know what type of vibes we're going to get at Pro City this year because last year we managed to see NBA skills trainer Chris Brickley stop by. And yeah, we saw game winners. We saw some game winners, like I said. This year is going to be very interesting. And to speak a little bit more about the four-overtime game I saw at West 4th Street, based on the footage, some guy named Hood Fab Palu put up 23 points, and a guy named Tarlene the Flash put up 49 to lead Jeff Hoovers to a victory in 4 overtimes at West 4th. So, yeah, there's some good games. And I also finally got a chance to speak to the announcer.
Mr. Cocky?
Yep. He's a very decent guy. And you know what? Kenny West 4th asked me in my sports podcast because you overheard me telling somebody about it. I was like, yeah, I'm on sports podcast, nothing but that sports talk. And that was the first time me and Kenny actually spoke. And then as far as the announcer that was using the megahorn, I told her that I got that I got the link with West 4th courtesy of China, or at least that's what she calls on Instagram, or as a real life name goes by Ash, who I met during my LIU Brooklyn days. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. And yeah, the only reason why they use it, I mean, obviously you know this already because you've been to West 4th for 200 years. But the only reason why they used it because the DJ wasn't there, so they had to go with the megahorn. Because the DJ, the music and everything, that was pretty much the reason why you're using a microphone instead of the megahorn wasn't there. And she only comes around during like the best days, which is on the weekends. So yeah, at least that justifies the whole megahorn situation that we were talking about last week on the show. But with that, I still recommend check out West 4th. There's some positives.
No, great tournament.
So, what are your thoughts on everything I just said? And congratulations on the opportunity to do the ISA championship games.
Oh no, it was good, and I started following Mr. Cookie and God doing it there. I've understand. It seems like he's doing a good. Listen, it's a good tournament. Looks like he's doing a good job. Good to stay intense with the players and stuff. So they got their lane for it, and it's good. I knew sometimes they do have the mic, but I didn't know what was the reason for it not having the mic over time. And it's just about availability to have the DJ and the speaker system and so on and so forth. So that's why the megahorn was the other consummate use just in case. But no, it's still they keep it going, and maybe one day secretly you can talk to Kenny Graham. Maybe you can get something on what you're doing in a connection with West 4th and to give you content to create. Maybe that might be an option, or holler him in general to see what you guys can work on as business and constructive in the future. But West 4th is a great tournament, and they did, and they doing their numbers, and like I said, a lot of teams in the city play there. So we'll see how everything ends out, and it's good summer.
Yep, good summer indeed. And when there's street ball, there's also some NBA finals to talk about. But yeah, things are getting intense. But now we got to, before we get started on talking about the NBA finals, as long as you're watching the NBA, give me your 3 favorite NBA finals that you watch. Started with the most favorites. 3 most favorite NBA finals that you watch in your basketball life.
I don't know any order, but the 3 ones, of course. 1994 Knicks Rockets, 7 games. Definitely a captivating series. Both sides, win or lose, captivating. 1994 was good. believe it or not, 2011 Dallas Mavericks Miami Heat. That was actually a very, very captivating series. 6 games, Mavericks win. And I just had the other one I think wanted it. The year, I want to say this is, let me make sure something right now. So that's 2005, right? Was that the year the Detroit Pistons and the Spurs went to the finals?
Yes.
Right? So 2005, 7-game series, Pistons, Spurs. And that one came down almost to with 7 games, came down almost to the wire. Pistons had an opportunity to win, but Spurs made some big plays at the end. That one was a series that was back and forth. You didn't know who was going to be the winner because there were 2 really good teams at times. And bonus, oh God, I just had it. Bonus, Lakers Celtics, 2009, 7 games, right?
Not 2010.
2010. So 2009, they beat
the Orlando Magic in 2000.
The Magic 9. So 2010, Celtics, Lakers 7-game series. Ron Artest, big 3-point shot.
You can't forget that series. That was an epic 7-game series. And Kobe Bryant won his last ever championship. Not just his basketball career, but his life. Rest in peace. As far as 2011 goes, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was kind of frustrated when that was one of the least favorite finals I like. But we'll get more to that in a minute.
And one bonus. This might be the number one. Cavs Warriors.
Oh, the Cavs Warriors. You can't forget them.
3-1.
Oh, we're gonna get to that. But let's get to the 2011 finals because that one I was kind of ticked off because I mean that was a year where I actually was rooting for Miami to win the championship, and then they let me down, losing to a young up and coming Dallas Mavericks team who beat Portland, swept the Lakers, and defeated the OKC Thunder in only 5 games, and he didn't even have to protect home court to get it done. And the Dallas Mavericks have had at least one compromise win in most of that entire playoff run. And pretty much Dallas had control of that series after coming from behind to win game 2. And then even when the Heat did manage to win game 3, courtesy of a clutch shot by Chris Bosh, they slowed down LeBron James, at least from a points perspective. LeBron still has triple doubles, but they slowed down LeBron James big time. I mean, yeah, that was when it was frustrating. That one was frustrating to me. And as far as 94, I mean, I couldn't really, well, you could probably attest to that. I mean, as a Knicks fan, that was obviously tough for you to watch, but you enjoyed it anyway because that was the year they won 7 games. The same year the Rangers won against the Vancouver Canucks in the Stanley Cup championship. But that's besides the point. Yeah, I would get why you would enjoy it, even with the losing result at the end. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. And we got to talk about the Cavs and Warriors. Which year? Was it 2016?
Yeah, I think so, right? That was just a great series, man.
Really, another example of why LeBron James is literally in the GOAT category with Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. Prime example to that.
Phenomenal series by LeBron and those guys. And 73-win team, down 3-1 to come back and win 7 games. LeBron has probably the biggest block in NBA history. Kyrie Irving debatably hits the biggest shot and debatably, not even debatably, the biggest 3-point shot in the NBA Finals history. So that's got to be lucrative right there. All those finals that I named had great feelings to it. Like the 7-game series to come back to beat, like I said, beat a team 73 wins, be down 3-1, and to come back and win a series where you have a great block and whatever, the 1A has the greatest 3-point shot in history is big. 2011 finals was captivating because Miami was the favorite. And the Mavericks were a team that was good and respected when Miami was supposed to win. And for Dallas to win in 6 games, 1 game, Dirk Hand was like broken and he scored like 20-something points or something, or he's injured and played well, and they won in Miami. Also think about the Heat won game 1 by a lot and we're supposed to, kind of cruise to that series. They didn't. Mavericks winning 6, Knicks losing 7. Rocket series, huge series. O.J. Simpson trial. OJ Simpson, Chase.
May God rest his soul.
The rest of soul, yes. Knicks have a chance to win in game 6, up 3-2. Starks plays well. Starks gets the last shot blocked by Olajuwon. Next game, Starks doesn't shoot well. Knicks losing 7 games. Very captivating. Like I said, the Mavericks won, Knicks won, Cavaliers won 7-3-9, and the Pistons Spurs series that went 7 games, and that went
yeah,
right,
that
but
really
it went down to the end.
Robert Horry had that shot. I see the footage. I mean, I wasn't watching that day, but I see the footage of Robert Horry's clutch shot. Robert Horry's clutch shot that put the Spurs up by a single point in overtime in what was game 5, I believe. Yeah, it was game 5. How can I forget that? And Robert,
Lakers Celtics.
I understand Robert Horry is a role player, but he does have more rings than Michael Jordan as well, and LeBron James. He did pick up a lot of rings winning with the Rockets, the Spurs, and the Lakers. So he made a name for himself during those years.
Yeah, and not to mention that those teams that like I said, with the Celtics and Lakers, man, if Ron Artest doesn't make that big shot in the finals, who knows? You know what I'm saying? So there was a lot of, and we know how that went already. So those are just the captivating series that I can remember to my eye since my life existence. And it's going to be a great one tonight. Me personally, I don't got nothing against the Celtics per se, but I am cheering for the Mavericks to win.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Mavericks can do it in 6. I think it might go the distance, but I think the Mavericks are going to be a good series. I don't know. I hope I'm not wrong on this, but I just feel like Kyrie's going to play really, really well this series, which he has a lot of motivation and to do so many subplots. And we know Luke is not afraid of the big stage. And, the Celtics have a lot of demons to exercise. Their worst thing would be go down in this series or to trail early in this game by a lot or a little where they can't get back into the game. Because if doubt starts creeping in their head, Dallas is a big time favorite in this series.
That is also true, and as we but let's talk about before we continue talking about that. Let's talk about what NBA Finals you did not like, or at least.
Oh my God!
NBA Finals, 3 least favorite NBA Finals that you watched.
Wow, least. I'm trying to be fair, not be, but I'm just trying to think through all the years, like the winners and so on and so forth. I mean, I could have did without Oklahoma City Thunder Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Not too actually very weak. Miami won and they should have won, but very weak. I could have did without. I could have did without Golden State Cavs first one because the Cavs weren't healthy.
Mm-hmm.
No Kevin Love, no Kyrie. So we knew it was inevitable that they were going to cruise to that chip, and LeBron did everything he could, but it didn't make any difference because he was our man. He had nothing to fall on. If I remember, this might sound crazy. I don't sound like a hater. I could have did without Dallas Miami the first time. Shaq.
You mean the year where Dwayne Wade carried Miami
right.
championship?
Poop. It was a series of Dwayne Wade just going 8-9, which that was the only good thing in that finals. Dirk played under the
party. You can't.
It was terrible. The Mavericks thought the finals was 2 games. They won the first 2 games and got blasted the next 4. Played with no heart. Dirk did not show up in those last 4. They asked Avery. They used him as a scapegoat, as the coach. They just fell apart. and the Heat just out physical and just steamrolled to them. And Wade, I'm telling you, Dwayne Wade had like a 5 to 6 game stretch in the finals. That was one of the most magical stretches I've ever seen in NBA history. He couldn't miss any shot. He was unguardable, and the rest is history.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and I get your point, but come on, man. That was the Dwayne Wade's coming out party. The same way that game winner he had against the New Orleans Hornets back in 2004, back when the Hornets were playing the Eastern Conference. I mean, before they eventually lost. Before they eventually lost to Indiana Pacers in the second round. But that was D Wade's coming out party. We can't ignore that. We can't dismiss that. And Shaq won his last ever championship. Alonzo Mourning finally got a ring. Gary Payton finally got a ring after not winning anything with the Seattle Sonics. That was back when Udonis Haslem was more useful. Jason Williams was a dangerous sniper. Like I'm sorry. Okay, see Miami. I'll probably agree with you on that one. And the other finals matchup you just mentioned, I'll probably agree with you on that one. But the Miami Heat versus the Dallas Mavericks, I'm sorry. In a year that was my first time fully paying attention to basketball, I gotta say that was my favorite of all time. As we transition to my favorites NBA Finals of all time, the 06 Miami Heat championship, the 2013 Miami Heat championship, of course, that was with Rayon at the shot that forced Game 7, and then they won that phenomenal Game 7 due to LeBron's clutch moments. And then, yeah, you can't forget about. I could put the 2016 championship win by LeBron James as well, but that's gonna. But I can't dismiss that one. But it's the tie between that and the 2020 bubble year where LeBron carried the Lakers to the 17 championship, which currently ties the Celtics for most championships, by the way. Those are my favorite ones. So
excellent choice.
But as far as my least favorite, yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the Celtics. I'm gonna have to go with the Spurs and the Cavaliers. I mean, I understand it was LeBron James' first finals ever in his NBA career, but after coming behind to beat the Detroit Pistons, I kind of expected to be more competitive. I mean, you had one game where LeBron couldn't force overtime on a three-pointer in Game 3, and they pretty much just ran the gas in Game 4. Yeah, I understand it was LeBron's first ever finals, and you didn't really have that many pieces around you, but I feel like that year could have been better. And the 2000 and I hate to be LeBron biased, but obviously 2014 was better. I thought 2014 was going to pick up to what 2013 left off, but after Miami barely won Game 2, they pretty much got steamrolled the rest of the way. I mean, even if the San Antonio Spurs were bound to win that year in 2014, I expected Miami to do better. And don't even get me started on 2017, where in 2017, 18 were literally both series over after Kevin Durant's clutch shots in Game 3 in both finals series. Don't even get me started on that. It may have been competitive games, but series-wise, it could have been done better.
Well, it's so crazy. I wanted to mention 2007 because it wasn't a great final. It actually was a bloodbath. The Spurs just out-schemed. They just ran like a boxing one. 2 guys down on there, 3 guys guarding LeBron all the time. And they knew they had other guys on the team that couldn't beat them. They had to play team basketball for the win, and the Spurs had a good defensive team. So they out-schemed. And LeBron still was incredible, even with having to do everything at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't put it in there because us as the basketball world, whether we win it or not, we knew that Spurs team was in a different class level than the Cavs. LeBron willed the Cavs to the finals. And like you said, the team that LeBron had was not good. That by far is one of the worst NBA Eastern Conference champions in the history of the NBA. Take away LeBron, they're a lottery team, which they were every year, and that team is really bad. And he led that team to the NBA Finals. So it's one of those things like, now y'all did get blasted and steamrolled. Y'all did. But how were you supposed to compete with a team like this against a team like that? You don't.
You just don't. San Antonio Spurs will beat the Cavaliers when it mattered the most, even though the Cavs did sweep them during the regular season, and LeBron had that poster over Tim Duncan to start off 2006-07 season. They couldn't get it done when it mattered the most because Tim Duncan, San Antonio Spurs teams were just that good. That's what they were too good for any competitive series. I mean, LeBron needed a game 7 just to get that one final series win against him in his NBA career when Tim Duncan, Mel Ginobili, and Parker was in the prize, and the Spurs were making the playoffs like almost every year up until the bubble year, and then they weren't making it to the playoffs. But don't worry, San Antonio fans, with Victor as your top star, it won't be that long before they return to the NBA Finals. Well, forget the NBA Finals. It won't be that long before they return to the playoffs and become one of the juggernauts of the Western Conference again. Just look at the Oklahoma City Thunder, who would have thought they would be a number 1 seed again as far as they did with the pieces that they've had.
You know, so crazy. I actually knew the Thunder would be decent. I knew it was a matter of time.
Yeah, it was just a matter.
Yeah, man, it definitely was going to be a matter of time. So listen, summer ball is here. Summer baseball is here. Time to get back into a different focus.
Yeah. Now on to continue the conversation about the NBA Finals. I mean, well, you already mentioned why you want the Mavericks to beat the Celtics, so I don't think we need to cover that too much because you just want Kyrie Irving to get revenge on James and Boston for all the stuff he went through when he went down there. I mean, you already
cry
over earlier in the episode and last episode you were on the show, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, on to another breaking news happened earlier today is we thought the Lakers were going to try to get JJ Redick, but for some reason, they thought it was a good idea to go after Dan Hurley, the coach of UConn, who carried up to 2 straight national championships. Now, with everything going on with the Dan Hurley situation, do you think he'll bring the Lakers back to being a conference finals team at the very least? If he
Did he sign?
He didn't sign yet, but the Lakers are targeting him. But what will Dan Hurley do for the Lakers franchise if this goes to fruition?
You know, that remains to be seen. Dan Hurley's doing a phenomenal job in college, phenomenal job at UConn, got the world at his head. 2-time champ now. NBA is a different ball game. But I can see him as a leader to at least get the guys to the lead and with what he's trying to do. I hope.
Yeah, one can only hope because, Dan Hurley, give Dan Hurley credit. He did a phenomenal job bring UConn men's 2 more championship as a coach. Once he found the right pieces, and I should know because I watched him win the Big East Conference tournament last season. Once he brought the right pieces together and the players were in sync and the teammates were in sync, UConn built a championship team.
It's true.
Just steamrolled them. Imagine what you're going to do when LeBron James comes back to LA and if they draft Bronny James in the 2nd round.
Alley-oops. If they're playing together.
Yep, alley-oops indeed. That wrap up this episode of Nothing But That Sports Talk. Thinking stuff about Ryan Walker, and can't wait for the NBA Finals. I mean, I'm taking the game of picking Boston to win, but I think the Mavericks are going to try and get me sleeping on them a bit. They're going to win Game 1 tonight. What about you?
I'm going to go with what you say. I like Game 1 going to the Mavs. It's going to be tough winning on the road, but if anybody's built for these guys, Luka's ready for the big moment. Always been playing at high levels from 12, 13 years old. We know Kyrie's ready for this big stage. And like I said, I just know that this is a series and a game that he's going to be very, very revved up and piped up for. Holiday's a tough cover, but I just think the Mavericks will get them in this one.
Yes. For Ryan Walker, Rafiq was on. We'll see you next time.